Volvo made its name back in the day building boxy but safe wagons. And despite the rise of SUVs, the Swedish brand still has a soft spot for the station wagon. Just don't call this new V90 cross country boxy. This stylish and sleek looking load lugger is the brand's offering for those who need plenty of space and some extra off-road ability but don't want to join the SUV brigade. It's part of the same 90 series as the S90 sedan, XC90 SUV and the V90 wagon. It sits 57mm higher than the standard V90, which means it has a total of 210mm of ground clearance, and it comes with all-wheel drive as standard in case you want to get off the paved road. The interior design of the cross country is uniquely Scandinavian too, both in terms of its styling and the materials used. It certainly stands out from its German competitors. But that doesn't mean it's any less high-tech. It's got this state-of-the-art tablet-style infotainment system, which allows you to control all the various functions of the car, like you would on your iPad or similar. But it's not for the faint of heart, technologically speaking, because it is quite a complicated system. Even just changing the air conditioning does require a few taps on the screen, so it can be a little cumbersome at times. But overall, it's pretty cool and clever. And speaking of clever, the back seat also has a few tricks of its own. The cross country may be strictly a 5-seater, unlike its XC90 sibling, but it's still a family-friendly wagon. For starters, there's plenty of space, even as an adult with my seat position, heaps of room, but it's got some clever touches for the family, like these booster seats that are inbuilt into the back seat themselves, which are super handy if you've got young kids. The boot is spacious too, with loads of room to chuck all your luggage in. Under the bonnet is a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo diesel engine and 8-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 173 kilowatts of power and a healthy 480 newton meters of torque. On the road, it's a pretty good engine. It's got more than enough pulling power to drag along this big car quite comfortably. But like all the cars in the 90 series range that I've driven, it just feels like it lacks that little bit of polish to really compete against the Germans, particularly in the way the refinement of the engine. It's a little noisy at times, and it can be a little bit grumbly for a diesel. You know, you get that chug through the cabin, particularly on startup. The other issue is the suspension. You know, it does a reasonable job of soaking up the bumps, but it can be quite noisy about it. One of the things that actually stands out about the cross country compared to, say, the XC90, if you're trying to steer clear of an SUV because you don't like how big they are, well, this is still a big vehicle. It's long and it's wide, and it doesn't drive that much differently than its taller sibling. You know, it corners a bit better, but overall you're still getting a really sizable vehicle. And it's a combination of that size and pretty punchy diesel engine that means hitting the claimed 5.7 litres per 100k fuel use has been a pretty hard ask. Driving around, granted mostly in the urban environment, but we're using just over 11 litres per 100, which is well off claim. So it can be quite a thirsty machine at times, and you've got to take that into account when you're comparing it to an SUV. Priced from $99,900, the V90 Cross Country Inscription is actually $2,000 more expensive than the equivalent model in the XC90 range. For that money, you do get a suitably luxurious car with leather trim, power tailgate, 4-zone air conditioning and a 10-speaker sound system, to name a few highlights. But you do have to pay extra for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, heated seats and a sunroof, so you'll be spending closer to $110,000 for the car we're driving here. Of course, being a Volvo, it does come well equipped on the safety front with autonomous emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, and even semi-autonomous driving functionality included as standard. Like all things Volvo, the V90 Cross Country stands out as a unique Scandinavian option. Stylish, practical, and luxurious.